we have a huge coordination need across the different agencies of government.
One funding that has not been mentioned because it's a multi-donor funding that the World Bank is managing, is the disaster global facility for disaster reduction. There are all these flags about the contributing countries to this fund. This fund is extremely important in the context of the synergies between disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. This adaptive decision making is not an easy one. There is no blueprint for adapting to climate change. Things will change on a systematic basis, and policies and decision making will need to adjust to these changes. If we look at these today, it's probably closer to 100%. This actually also reflects the interest and the commitment of many of the countries the bank works with to address climate change through the bank's operations. Adaptive decision making is one of the main messages from our World Development Report in terms of responding to climate change.
And I think currently we've mobilized about 15 projects under the Climate Change Fund, and another 8 or 9 under the various RETAs that we've been working with. But we're implementing Entity 4, the CIF funds, and in this instance I'll focus on the PPCR projects. And altogether, I think the PPCRs in the Asian region, which are collective projects with the World Bank and with a number of the other UN agencies and others, will mobilize something like $500 million in CIF money. And that will leverage quite a bit more. We reckon around 800 million or so across the institutes that are involved in the PPCRs. We're also an executing agency of the GEF funds, the SPCR, SCCF, LDCF. Our current portfolio is about 6.5 million. We have a pipeline there of about 32 or 33 million, including a big project coming up in the Pacific Islands. What we're doing now, basically, we're sort of aggressively building pipeline in anticipation of not only expanded resources from those funds, but the Green Climate Fund.
UNDP has certainly supported a large fraction, I would say more than 80%, of all least developed countries to access funding from the least developed country funds who have requested UNDP support have been provided the assistance, but ensuring that the projects are designed in a robust manner, that they don't overlap with other ongoing initiatives, and in particular are totally and absolutely aligned with development priorities at the national level. We are a facilitator. We are there to support. We're not there to do it for the countries. And partnerships is critical. And about $500 million of grant funding has been mobilized by UNDP and is now active at the country level, combining and sequencing multiple funds. This is going to be critical for countries moving forward. Public finance is never going to be sufficient to meet the needs that countries have. To what extent can countries be supported to leverage this public finance and really catalyze additional finance?
The other aspect was how do you mainstream climate change and the adaptation funds, and how do you ensure that they reach the most vulnerable? And here again, our work with local governments, the ministries of local development, ministries of interior, and we're finding that there's a lot of capacity in those institutions, but the funds are sitting elsewhere, and it's actually really to link them. And UNEP has a small direct access support program for governments that are interested, and we can come in to assist. We also have something called Fit for the Fund, and my colleague Virginia is in front. And here we're really trying to do a few things. One, providing targeted assistance to countries that need support for climate to access climate financing. And the other is to help climate negotiators on climate financing. Because most of us who are negotiators actually came as scientists, and we had to learn negotiations, and now we're having to learn finance. The opportunity was to get the community together. We have a critical mass, and now it's really to make use of the forum for a week to be able to move ahead on adaptation.